GQ.
I was trying to watch.
Yeah, it looks
rewatch
a
that.
bit Pulp Fiction.
I feel a little bit out of place. Never seen either of those.
You
Vikings
haven't?
or Sopranos.
You haven't
Oh,
seen
the
Sopranos?
shows.
No.
Or Vikings.
I haven't seen it.
never
I've been
watched
recommended Vikings, but Sopranos is a good
Classic.
show.
Yeah,
a good
I've
show.
heard that.
Yeah.
It's really.
I might watch it again because I watched it on and off when I watched it. So
Want to watch it
How
together?
many seasons does
we
it
do
have?
that. Yeah,
Discord party.
yeah.
A lot.
I love watching 24 actually. We should do a 24 one.
24 is
next time.
good.
Yeah. When I'm in LA, I
Jack
just
Bauer.
watch 24 over and over again. Yeah. Apart from the first season though, because it's just like, oh, the wife's been kidnapped again. Oh, the daughter's gone.
Yeah.
You know, just again and again and again. Anyway, what's our next match? We've got Heroic versus North coming
Danish Derby.
up. So obviously we just saw the two teams, and here are the vetoes. So Cobblers is going to be first up, and then More Train, and then Overpass. So interestingly, not an Inferno. We've seen Inferno almost every series so far. So this should be an interesting one. I mean, Heroic, I think you could argue they upset NiP yesterday.
Yeah.
I think people were expecting a Swedish victory there, but
Especially when NIP had them against the wall, you know? It was a 13-5.
Madi was looking really good.
Esatog carried them through
Esatog.
train.
Yeah.
He's like 4
Yeah.
clutches. He
That was a
doesn't give
really
an F.
impressive
He's
series
getting
by him.
cut. He's like, I'm just banging out. I'm
Yeah.
showing my resume right here.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking to Esatog. You guys are pretty well spoken. Like that guy's. I like talking to him.
I've never spoken to him. If I did that, I'd be like, how do you pronounce your name? Or where did it come from?
Yeah.
We said yesterday.
ES3 tag.
Wasn't it? You can just call him Patrick, right? His name's Patrick.
Let's call him
I think he'd appreciate that.
Eddie Guerrero.
Check chat. Do they have some advice for us? SCA tag. No,
I mean, the
everyone's
3 in the middle is what really throws you
Yeah,
off course.
slight leet speak. Could be a lot worse
Well,
though.
people call Zipnix. His name is actually supposed to be what was it?
Zypex.
Zypex, right?
I remember when I was saying that on stream, I was saying it how
He
he
just gave
told
up.
you to say it.
Yeah, no,
and
like,
then people were giving me crap, but it's like, dude,
It's
I
so-
have it straight from the source. He said that's how
Yeah.
he does it, and he said that
How can
he
we believe
doesn't.
you?
He
It's
said he
an
doesn't
E.
correct
It's supposed to
people
be an
because
E.
it's not worth the effort.
How can we believe you though?
Well, let's
Because
get
I
on
haven't
this.
lied
The
before.
9's supposed to be an E?
How do we know that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's Zypex.
You know how a 9's kind of like a
Because we always say
Yeah,
Zipex.
yeah. No,
I'm sticking with Zipex, man. Screw
I
this.
just never thought of it being an E.
It could be an
well,
O.
Zipic. As long as it's not Zip.
Someone in chat keeps trying to remind me how short
for sure
I am.
not Nix.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of people do say that.
You're 4'11", Jordan. Get off the broadcast.
Ooh.
There's a height limit here.
Okay.
Are you taller when you sit on the chair?
He's taller than Tyler 1.
Should I just stand on between? Just
Meme.
Oops.
Oh, it looks like we're going live here, huh?
That's good.
Oh, sweet.
stop talking about my insecurities and hop in game.
This
It
used
was
to
a funny
be-
comparison in that interview thing. Like I was beyond the camera frame, and then you were a lot further down.
I remember back when Rubina was on North, right? I don't know if they were even called North
Oh,
when he
so
was
you-
on it, but basically that same core, Cobble was definitely their go-to map way back when.
Rubino's a good entry on the T side.
Yeah, he would do that long B stuff. Like,
Yeah, he was pretty good with that.
A little drop boost.
Let's have a look. What are you going for it? Are they looking for it? They seem to have angles.
Ooh, snap.
damn.
Snappy. Okay, round over.
You don't
Snappy
often
gal.
see
Damn.
that with the USPS.
Nice. Nico, the P2000 Scorpion, and there is the round over. Marvelous.
Like
Any of
round.
you use P2000?
Oh yeah,
Jay Gills.
J Gills for
Why?
life.
since
Any-
2015.
Do you know who
Any
else
particular
uses
reason? or-
Yeah, something to do with like the long range and close range. Like mid range, USPS is whatever, not really an advantage, but like spamming it I'm more comfortable with. Close range and then long range. Something about giving people haircuts just seems so easy with it.
You
Th-
can also
there are-
spam more bullets through smokes.
Yep, it's more
And
bullets,
it's
just
good
more
for
ammo.
creating a bait setup because it makes noise.
I think I got, a little humble brag here. I got a little cocky after 2015 with the Sean Gares run because I had the best pistol stats in the world.
Yeah, I saw
on
that.
In the
2015.
world.
In the world,
Yeah,
on
you
land.
did.
Yeah, but were you better than the global offensive?
Nope, not
players?
those guys.
Okay.
Those guys,
Literally-
Those guys are really good.
But
Like,
then after that year, I just held on to it. I was like, you know what,
Yeah.
old habits die hard.
honestly, if there were like 5 global elites that made a team, like I honestly would be afraid for FaZe and SK. Like those guys.
No, man, it's not. It's
What,
not
matchmaking players?
It's not global
Yeah,
elite.
just
It's
5
face at
global
level 10.
elite.
Face at level 10.
Is that it?
They'll annihilate global elites. Face at level 10. Ask NBK. Seen his highlights. It's like these are impossible to defeat. There are actually some interesting comparisons between the P2000 and the USP, which Dan and I were talking about recently because he picked up the P2000. So I'm going to look at the sheet with the statistics and tell you about those in a minute. But it's all gone quiet.
North looking pretty poised to hit the A
Does
side
Dan
here.
just sit by and kind of like give you stats on the fly when you need him? Like he hears a conversation going against P2K versus USP.
No, I'm the stats
That's like
nerd.
the best friend. He's just like
I think you're
feeding
both
you
stats
info.
nerds.
Well, he's
Like
a
between
nerd.
the two of you and Thorin, like you guys
Whoa.
have ridiculous like memory for those types of stats.
Yeah, I like looking them up. That's a
Oh,
bad
yeah.
miss.
There's certain people in the talent world that are pretty sick with that. Yanko's one who's always like Sean's pretty good with the vetoes. Normally Yanko.
I'm
I
good with
heard
the
you drop a
vetoes.
stat last game. You're like 30% of the time he wins this. I was like 60% of the time you just make up stats on the fly.
This is an arbitrary number. I liked
That was
what North
great.
did though on this round where they shift what. Is that okay to segue into the game?
No.
I like how they shift walked into A hulls. Like usually walking in A hulls, if you're against an op, you're just gonna get absolutely smacked.
But it's a
But-
gamble that
second
pays
round.
But
off.
when you have like
Second round.
CZ armor and your second round against like UMPs and M4s, like you can very realistically like get those kills. I think the problem with what they did here was they just took too long after they like walked and cleared hulls. I mean, they just ran out of time.
Another thing though is like it's kind of to your advantage to try and walk clear halls maybe as 2 or 3 on the first gun round, because then you don't give away what your nade pattern is if you do need to use it later. So if you can
Yeah.
take that initial hay room without having to throw a nade, then that's to your advantage later on in the half.
Ooh, another rebuy.
Yeah.
5 smokes here.
That's-
Probably a B exec, no?
That's good because Heroic won with only one player alive.
Yeah.
So, you know, Heroic players get $1,000 more than the North players. And honestly, when you can just take aim fights or use CZs and get down drop and like out upper B with a pop flash, like what do you do? UMPs and full nades so you can like, you know, delay and stop executes, or do you get like M4 or FAMAS armor and have no nades and you just have to gun battle?
Yeah.
So North's in a really good position here.
It's like maybe
They're gonna do
rock
rock
smokes?
smokes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rock smokes,
rock
drop
smokes,
split
and
to
then
B.
drop split. Yeah,
Like
that's
that's
awesome.
a little lineup, but
Yeah,
not in the open.
did they miss it?
And they look prepped with this exec, but Nico trying to do something about it. Gets 2, goes down, back into 3 versus 3. Madi, a lot of good rifle work yesterday, but the smoke edge kind of gets in his way a little bit there. And now we'll see if Snappy is aware of the potential boost as his teammates coming in on the flank.
I think Muddy's play there was still good though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you need to take that risk. You don't want to like wait too long and then get pinched and sandwiched without getting any. So you just take a gamble, take a risk, and just go and try to fight. Obviously, it didn't pay off for him, but can't wait for that spicy chicken.
Yeah, door just rang. All of our heads turned.
Yep.
SC tag gets the tag.
It's gonna be a hard reset if Heroic loses this. So SE is trying to
What
get
an
this.
Why are
interesting
you
peek right
peeking?
there by AZ.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
Not interesting.
Yes.
He has a kit, so he can take some time. Oof.
Where are these bloody statistics?
And now
James,
because it's
what kind of
CS:GO,
cheat sheet is that?
here comes the reinforce buyback.
It's weapon statistics.
It's all the nerd stats on the all the weapons.
Tell-
This
tell-
cheat is why I know that like the MP9 has surprisingly reasonable
Whose
jumping
sheet is that?
accuracy.
Who owns that?
Reasonable.
Slope
It's
Squadron
beyond
and
reasonable.
another
It's
guy.
like perfect.
Yeah, versus the other SNGs and stuff. So this is like, I love this cheat. They, you know, in the update yesterday, all those beta changes for the shotgun spreads
Oh yeah, I was
are
looking
now
at
in the
that.
game. So it's basically the same spread more or less, which is pretty cool. I love me some shotguns. So I look forward to seeing if that will have an effect. There's the odd person who uses them, such as Fur.
I like main the shotgun in rank S.
Yeah, I like how you just looked at me and gave me some stupid smug grin. Like, yeah, man.
I feel like getting the Mag 7 on first gun round is like the greatest thing in the world because they're not playing for a Mag 7 most of the time. You know,
Yeah.
they kind of like clear angles as if it's gonna be rifles.
You just have to play it where you can like jiggle out, get a shot, jiggle back in. You're hiding in the site, and if there's too many people to overrun you, you're just like, baiting them into your teammates that have full autos.
And you just hope to God you don't have to rotate.
Yeah, you pray you
Yeah,
don't have to rotate.
pray that you don't have to.
That's the one problem.
Otherwise, you just whip out a nice P250 and then snipe people.
I have
'cause
a
why not?
question for Sean and well, all 3 of you, I guess, people, strat callers and analysts. On Kabul, what would you like to see changed?
Everything. I want them to delete the map.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit stale. I
so-
don't think there's much opportunity for CT aggression.
So
kinda lame.
here's James and I actually have James Earl and I have had this conversation a few times about Cobble. Like my main gripe with it is that Valve just forced it into the competitive rotation, and they just said, okay, here's a major next month. Here's this map that's completely unrefined, not play tested at all. Here you go, play on it. And then they've changed it so many times since then, like 3 pretty major updates on the map, and it's still. I feel it's stale. James feels like it's not, and our philosophies are like kind of the similar, but we just disagree with, like, you can do, as a CT, you can take upper B control, but when you take upper B control, you're making either drop or A really, really weak, you know? And like, I don't know, it feels like it's a map where you just take control of something close, do a bunch of smokes, and then run out, and it's like a 4-on-4 A map with like a lurker.
I think
Yeah.
they have to. I think they have to force maps on people though. It's just the timing is the.
I don't mind it too much. I feel like it's good to have a few non-symmetrical maps in there. You know,
So-
like Overpass and Cobble are kind of that asymmetrical.
I like Overpass a lot, but Overpass, the first iteration when it was just released for the major in 2014, that was horrible.
Oh, it's
and
terrible.
I got really mad, and I did that video with Cotton about it, and then they made significant changes, which made it like a really dynamic, cool map, where there's room for a lot of things. You could do lurking, you could do defaults, you could do hard execs. There's a lot of room to make plays on both T and CT side. I think it's a really cool map, but Cobble.
I
you
think
know,
there's a big problem with drop room. Like
The-
it's not real CS. I feel like it's so
it
weird.
really isn't.
You can't play it as a CT. There's
It's
no
like-
good flashes to retake it, even if you want to retake it. You
Yeah,
can't blind the guy
Even
up
if you
top
blind
and
the
down
guy,
low.
they kill you half the time.
It's
Yeah.
like mid on Dust 2 as well, where it's like if you get in there, you just split the map in half. If
When
you're
we
able
have
to take
another eke
control.
around, I want to ask you guys the comparison between Cobble and Cash, because you mentioned Overpass, but I think Cash, if anything,
I think Cash is really good.
Cash is solid, but Cash is another one of those maps
Cash
where
is like the other extreme of Cobble, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like CTs can aggress anywhere,
Anywhere.
and be
Yeah.
successful.
Cash is definitely a map where
So
a
you're
lesser
forced to
team can beat a
default.
better team.
you're
Yeah.
supposed to like 1-1-1 default as T's. So anyways, we'll
Right.
save that. Get back to match at hand.
Let's watch MSL. Oh, there's only one guy without head armor, so I don't know how successful he'll be.
4 people A.
I think for a broadcast like this, MSL's fun to watch. Maybe more on an Overpass, just because of I mentioned it the other day how he enables his teammates. Obviously, this is a round where he's got a Mac 10, so you won't be doing that necessarily. But people will look for the fraggers most of the time. But I think how like an in-game leader enables his fraggers by being a grenade man, etc., is also important for the people at home.
So you can see on radar, Heroic posturing to take plat. They get a guy on plat, cheat a guy over to A.
I think it's a
Extra
good
guy.
spot for Snappy. I think he can get one at mid and then push in and flank danger and make it really difficult for them. It's like,
Or he can get 0 at me.
or he can walk back up the ramp. And they're making the decision to say that's pretty smart in the
I
situation.
think he did that because they already had sight and he didn't know if they're going to peek down from
Right.
the top of the slope, so
Yeah.
he kind of had to do that.
Well, I mean, he could have pushed through, tried
True.
to take that fight, and then gone danger as well. I mean, in that situation when your back's against the wall, you need to just make a decision and hope it plays off. Obviously, in hindsight, it didn't work out, but there's definitely a situation where he gets that kill, flicks around, and kills a guy on the side as well, you know, and then suddenly Hero can win the round.
This is when it's going to get rough for Heroic. When you don't have money on CT side Cobble, it can just start to snowball out of control, especially with a team that knows how to like minimize risk on T side. It's just
Yeah.
starts to get really difficult.
Like, another thing is, if Heroic's unable to afford ops, North is going to keep just shift walking A-hulls and just clearing that out, because without an op, you need to kind of commit to those fights if you want to do anything, or you're doing what Heroic did in this previous in this round, where he was holding like a pixel angle and just spotted to see if someone's walking across the screen. He'll just see it's like normally like there's a light in the background and then it goes dim for a second and you're like, oh, there's a person here, let's drop a smoke or a molly or something and back off. Like, I know there's a guy here. But you can't really hold it like that unless you commit. Like, what are you going to do? To put 2 people at A in the halls and do like some crossfire? Now mid's completely exposed. So what do? Put one guy spotting A and one person spotting mid? Now, there's no trade potential.
I think this map is. I think it's the least engaging map for a viewer as well of the current maps.
I'd argue Nuke might be, just because it's so many layers that it's hard to observe, and if it's hard to observe, then it's hard
Definitely
to
observe.
if it's hard to observe, then it's hard to cast and
I think it's
and
hard
view.
to. I think it's
Yeah.
hard to observe, but I still think it's more engaging.
Our observer agrees.
I still think it's more engaging because the CTs can do more. You can have your secret aggression, the upper aggression. You can be outside around CT.
Don't get
or
me wrong. I think
garage.
Volcano Edition of Nuke was great to play, but awful to spectate and observe. Like,
Yeah.
as someone who has to actually control the in-game camera, it's awful. But I think the gameplay is way better than Cobble.
Yeah, but even as bad as it is to observe, I still think it's more engaging because you can see the CTs doing more. So like it's more interesting for both teams.
Easy was a little out in front there.
Yeah. The spacing's a bit weird, but
Ooh.
with no nades on
Nature.
Heroic,
Bye.
it's just gonna be
Jeez.
it's just gonna be an A map here. This is what Cobble turns into a lot of the
It's
time.
really weird. They gave up plat control and then they like immediately took it back and just started slow sieging up plat.
Yeah.
I don't really see that
I,
very
I like
often.
that. I like that North Bay. I think Heroic needed to get up close. They have UMPs on a lot of the players, so as soon as they see that aggression, they either need to get like close, like by broken wall, and play like 2 people there, or they should instantly like try to do something like boosting drop or something crazy,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Well, that's like part of the reason why I don't like drop is I feel like it's difficult for CTs to make a play when they have information using drop at all.
Why
Yeah.
did he plant the
You
bomb
can't
there?
do anything.
Where's the plant? On the side a little bit.
Yeah, but is he exposed to drop and the doors?
It's in
there's-
case they want to exit either way.
Yeah.
But there's no cover.
The tree and rock might have provided a little bit of cover, so the guy would have had, Snappy would have had to come all the way through the doors.
I
if he
guess
wanted
his
to kill.
teammate probably had an angle towards drop.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
So that's probably what happened, or there was a smoke up. I don't think they would just
I
plant
don't
from
think
the
there
open
was a smoke
willy-nilly.
up because I was watching the plant. But
Okay. Yeah, his teammates were probably covering the angles, and if he was to get killed from there, it would be a player running through the connector doors out, exposing himself completely to his team.
hero play. Oof.
See, guys, everybody has a not the best spray every once in a while. Valdez,
Exactly.
he's topping the tournament for his team
Yeah.
so far with ADR near 100, and he still does
Everyone
that.
has
So don't
those
beat
moments.
yourself up too much.
Is that because I whiffed on a guy at market, and because the game player models are ridiculously quick?
I think I would blame it on the game because you usually do everything perfect.
Yeah, honestly, it probably was the game. If it's not that, you know what? It was RNG. Actually, the worst case of RNG that I saw was when Rez from Nip was walked out
Oh, man.
onto upper B on this map. He was on Cobble. He walked out upper B platform. He was looking at a guy Coop. I think it was against Liquid. Nitro was Coop with an op looking, scoped in. Didn't see Rez. Rez aims at his head,
Oh,
sits
the
there,
tap.
one clicks, flicks to another player thinking he got the kill. It's like first
I've
bullet
had that
accuracy.
from, like,
It
3.
makes the game really exciting. You
That's
know.
why you buy the Krieg.
Yeah, that's why you buy the Krieg, I guess.
Right,
But like,
James?
the argument is it makes the game more exciting. It's like, no, what would make the game more exciting is this guy clearly made the outplay. If he's able to flick and get another kill and stuff, like that's a huge, amazing, interesting, exciting play. What happened is like, oh, okay, that sucks. Like he got robbed.
Yeah. It's not like physics in real life have random number generation. You know, it's like when you shoot
Yeah.
a basketball and it bounces off the backboard, it's not going to bounce randomly left to a certain degree. You know, it's going to bounce it the correct way, which
Right.
is why you master the sport and you master everything, right? It's just kind of doesn't feel
I don't know.
too good.
I think when it's a skill-based game like this, I think that those types of elements should be minimized. But I could go on for years with my gripes about this game and how I think it could be improved. I think it's a great game, and I think for team-based first-person shooters, it's unrivaled. I think nothing comes close right now, and probably nothing will for several years. But I still think that it could be massively improved.
Kind of like
economy,
heroics,
pistols.
kind of like heroics CT side right now.
Yeah,
It's,
heroics.
North goes up
CT.
6-2.
I'm getting that
Look
chicken.
at the money
Look
on
at that
North.
Getting that chicken.
This is gonna be rough.
North is
Plays
feeling
here?
good. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 4A again.
Yeah, really, the only round they really got dominated was that pistol round where Snappy
Yeah.
got the 3 opening kills in halls.
Yeah.
Second round, you could argue North could have won that round, and ever since then. they've-
Yeah, it came really close. It was like
Yeah.
a 1-on-2. Both the CT players were low health. But yeah, North is just, taking this in stride. It was kind of like a half buy from Heroic here. CZs and Deagles. Deagles are really powerful if you're like behind statue or in coop, if you're fighting upper B. I think that's why North is grouping towards A, because it's a lot more manageable with the trade kills here, especially if you have like a good routine to clear everything, just because...
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Some good shots there. 3-on-3. I think it's still in North's favor. They have the smoke on connector. Molly of Heaven now. Does AZ have this read? I think he does.
That's a really smart play by him.
Yeah.
Body system into the site.
CT side sucks
like
so
the
bad
rotate.
when you lose like second or third round.
Yeah.
It's just because
on Cobble.
the game's economy is so T-sided.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was going to ask about cash as well earlier, and I guess I can do that since this round is pretty much
Sure.
over.
Yeah.
I feel like the CTs, if their economy gets screwed at all, like say you lose pistol CT and then you win that first gun round, and then you lose the next round,
Yeah.
it's like the most annoying thing ever on CT side
Yeah,
cash. Because
you-
if you don't have smoke, sure, there's a lot of room for pop flashes, but
Like this half right here is going to be so annoying for Heroic because at this point, look at the economy that
Mhm.
North has built.
Yeah.
Like they're not saving anytime soon. So in order for Heroic to actually come
You
back.
basically have
and
to have a
stab.
super good read.
They have to have a lot of consecutive gun rounds.
And even if they were to lose a round, they need to minimize the gun save so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
when they do have I mean,
Yeah,
probably
so-
not going to ever make
So
a
if
save.
Heroic does win a round, but they only win with like 1 or 2 players alive, the reset
Under 3,
potential is just, it's just so dangerous.
So this is the type of round, again, where North is not in a hurry.
Double op, better
Right.
not have to retake.
Double up from the CTs. Probably going to expect one in A halls, and the other one probably going to be stature or coop, and then maybe taking control of upper B depending on how the flow of information is. So if North is going towards A, and the calls from Heroic are, hey, they're doing like 2 smokes here, and then another, there's 3 players here at least. Like maybe there's the rotation to take upper B. So that's where you do have some sort of strategy going into this map. But I think for the most part, it's just like, I don't know.
They might even
Stale.
get squirrely and do a drop boost for the op pick like we did for Kusta.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see North up the
I
pace
don't
right
think so.
now and do something
You
pretty
think
quick.
so? You like that?
Yeah.
Who
'Cause
took
I
the
think
tack? Do
The
we
only
know?
problem
I
with that
guess
is
so
that if
too,
you
'cause-
get wiped, then that's the ticket.
No,
for
but
the
if you have a
CTs
good
back.
fast strat, like you're almost guaranteed on Cobble to get it down to like the lower numbers, and that really hurts their economy.
Another thing is, like, if you do a fast strat, it baits out all the nades from the CTs, and if you know the CTs are low money, and you're able to just burn out all their nades, and they make them rebuy, even if you lose everyone and they keep everyone alive, if they have to rebuy all their utility, it can be like $1,500 if they get Molly Smoke Flash nade, and then, add a kit into that. Oof. Gotta hit those. He has no fallback
Wait,
land.
did he? That's genius. I don't think we caught it on the sound, but what I think MSL did
Damn.
right there, right before he ran, is he primed his molly. So I think it made it think that he
Yeah,
wasn't.
Yeah.
I think
That's what he did. I saw the molly in his hand, and he give him that sound, so he
Mm-hmm.
actually thinks that the peak's going to be a second later than what he actually did.
I think some players are starting to do that more, and not just with a molly, which
flashes,
obviously
too.
makes noise, but flashes. If you click where it's almost about to release, like it's 3/4 of the way released, just before it actually releases, if you quick switch away, it'll still make the noise like you're throwing it, but it doesn't actually release
Yeah.
and you keep it. And that's enough to make a player turn around, and then you can just like peek out at them. I think more players are starting to use that now.
That was a really impressive hole by Snappy right there. Although
Mm-hmm.
you would have liked to see, a flash come through the window,
Yeah.
blind him, or a quicker trade. I mean, it was kind of in the middle of the open.
Well, that's the problem with walking into halls against an opper in this map. You just can't do it. If you know they're opping halls, you need to use your nades. And if you use your nades, you telegraph everything, right?
Yeah, but once he missed that opening shot, I thought for sure
Like,
he was getting
oh, yeah,
traded
he should have
out.
got punished for sure.
Yeah.
North really dropped the ball on that. But like you said before, they have so much money. They have like at least 3-4 more gun rounds before they'd have to save. Like, they're good for the rest of the half almost.
This is a great round, though, for them. 4 alive right now.
Yeah. If I'm AZ, I try to get 1 or 2 more kills before I die, just inflict as much damage. But now North has the info that Heroic's running double up, so maybe now we do see that fast
Rush
play.
B,
If it's a rush B with the smokes coming over from spawn, just flying out with some poppers, getting in their faces, that can really screw them up. Heroic, we know that they're going to be opping in A halls with one person. Maybe he peeks from mid at the start. So, you can keep a guy there with just like one guy go smoke danger, flash mid or something like that, or molly A halls, and then 4 people like getting ready to just pop on B.
I think we could potentially see either a B exec or a mid rush right
Sean's team had some
Mid-rush would be
sick
good.
different variants of the B exec during their major qualifier run.
Yeah?
I peeped that.
here. Yeah, we did have a lot of variations of
I
B
saw
rushes and B
different
execs.
paths through the smokes that you were taking advantage of and stuff. Like paths that you don't ever see very often at all.
Yeah, we had definitely had a lot of variations on stuff we were doing towards the B site. Kind of masked a lot of our deficiencies, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then when Cold Zera just sits at statue and just throws his smoke as soon as he sees you guys coming, then it's all over. Right? Like that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
Congratulations, SK.
He's
You're
good
now
at
in the
doing that.
finals.
I think that's another thing. Like that used to be done a lot, defensive smokes, and now it's like every smoke you do is offensive. It's smoke upper B. If you're a CT, you never smoke yourself out to stay alive. It's if you're Inferno, you smoke main entrance at B, for example,
I think
instead
we're
of
gonna see the same
smoking yourself
drop
at
split.
triple.
This is the same drop split with the rock smokes.
With the rock smokes,
Yep.
this is also a good play, especially if they're
ops.
able to smoke off coup.
Probably a
if
smoke
that's
coup,
possible.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Out window. Snappy.
Ooh, it's a split to A.
I like it.
Or
Oh, no.
sorry, I got afraid for him. I got really invested.
If you're Valde right
That was
there,
a
you're-
taser noise.
Scare.
if you're
That
Valde right there, you're like, why is he running through this smoke? You know?
You
Well,
might
it's
actually not believe it, but Valve hired me to do that taser noise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Please stop. The Heroic plays the traps now because Kiabi's coming in from the back.
It's a really strong flank he's on.
They've got solid post-plant positions.
There's a happy circa 2015 flank.
Hopefully it's not too late here.
Yeah,
He's
he's- coming
coming in, and his teammate's sight is the last line of defense. AZ gonna go down quick, and the defuse now is not able to be seen if he ducks.
I'm gonna spam it though.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan, that was something you mentioned earlier on that Mirage game. When Josh was flanking upper B. The timing on that flank. Can't go
Yeah.
too slow, you can't go too fast.
Yeah, there's kind of two
If you
gaps.
go too
to it.
fast, then they hear you. If
Yeah.
you go too slow, then your teammates are in trouble.
Yeah.
When you start playing the better teams, they're really aware of that flank, so it's
Yeah.
a window that's really based on positioning. Because if that's planted for A Hall, that slow play right there is beautiful
Yeah.
because his teammates can hide. He gets one kill and they're now all worried. But yeah.
Right.
What's the money on North right now? Oh, they have one more after this. Rogue's been doing a good job though last round.
They probably have two if they
probably have two,
with
the money
the
bonus,
money
I
bonus,
think.
Oh, that's
especially
right.
if they get a plant.
Mhm.
And even without a plant, CZs. Why not? CZ drop split.
So I like
Ooh,
you
like that
see
double
you
molly?
see what Heroic's doing right
Yep.
now is
That's
the,
nice.
They
the
have
double molly upper B
They have upper B,
The
so
molly
now they
through-
shift towards A.
They threw the molly
drop.
through drop.
off the wall, right?
off the
Drops.
wall.
Oh.
With the molly from Plat.
That's sick.
Remember when
actually.
we had that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Marcus gave us a nice little presentation when we were on C9.
If you're North though in this situation where like your player by drop is calling that they did
But
these
this is what
mollies and stuff.
this is why it doesn't matter, Josh. Is because I mean, I don't know what you're about to say necessarily, but so Heroic knows North is doing kind of an A heavy default, so they take
Right.
upper B. Now, one thing that you see a lot of teams do now is they have Hay, they just walk back, leave one guy A. He'll throw nades, keep two there, and they do the explode B plat or the quick drop split late, and you know there's
Yeah.
only 3B.
Something I noticed North do actually is AZ will back off and he'll throw a smoke from like T spawn that blocks off all of Plat vision. So like that guy
Yeah.
holding Plat, it's like an Olaf smoke to
Taco-
the left.
Taco-
Like I think he probably threw it. That's probably
I
that
think
smoke
yeah,
there.
so Taco does that as well. So
Yeah, that's probably
Taco
AZ
plays
smoke.
plays B default on
Cuts
T
info.
side, and then if there's like the smoke deep in the archway and then the molly that goes in the back corner, he just drops a smoke in the middle, denies them the ability to push. If they push, they risk dying, and that defeats the whole purpose of it, right? So it looks like AZ did the exact same thing.
Look at what the team are
Oh,
doing
wow.
behind that smoke now. Despite the kills, the bomb was on the way, Kiabi was there. That's a nice
So I
difference.
don't-
You don't see a lot of teams do that.
How do you guys feel really quick? Or James,
Yeah.
finish your sentiment.
I was going to say, I've commentated a lot of Cobblestone recently where like there's been a CT AWP on Plat, seen that no one's there, no reason to have more people invested towards B, obviously there's drop, but they'll have the investment towards A as Heroic just did, but you don't often see that smoke to raise the question again. So
Yeah.
it was pretty cool to watch by North even though it failed.
No, yeah, they've been doing that since not this last major, but the one before that, which is really cool.
So, something I was going to mention there. I guess I could ask Josh and Sean, Marcus. Late round, you have A control. You know two are going to be there. I like that they leave the Opera there because a lot of people think the Opera is going to like lead the hit.
Yeah.
When they're playing contact. Do you really need that other rifler there? I felt like if they literally came back into a 2-2B split,
Yeah,
that's
this is something that the Brazilians actually are super sick at. So on like overpass, they'll put Fallen like lurking long A.
Yeah,
And you'll
as-
see an op there, and you're
as
like,
they're creeping
oh,
out monster.
There's no way that they're going B,
Right.
but they're all creeping out monster.
I think the issue was like the North was screwed no matter what happened in that situation. As soon as Heroic took upper B with an op and they had an op towards A and then they stacked A, North's, what are their plays? Their play is either they actually go A into the stack or they regroup B, where all you have to do is take a shot with an op, fall back. If you fall back to Coop or something or Statue, you're guaranteed to get like 2 or 3
no, but
even sometimes.
I actually
unless-
disagree with that because I
Yeah?
think if you took A halls, they have to play 2A. How are they going to hold B? Like you're saying, they're going to take that shot, fall back. But where's the support players? Drop and Fountain.
He's probably going to be like, around drop or
So if
rock
you
or
literally
something.
save
or
one
puts it-
smoke for Coop, flashback to Opera Plat, and then you split drop with one more flash over E-box, that's a pretty
Yeah, but it
favorable
depends on
split.
how many smokes you have left at that point, right? So if he's still
You should-
upper and kills you
yeah.
before you even make it there, that's one player down. He falls back to Statue. Even though you smoked off Coop, he's still going to get another kill, and then you have to start running at him. His teammates are connected door by that
It's
point.
definitely a sensitive subject, and it's easy for the Opera to dance there. But
Yeah.
I guess like, it's actually, I think people are intimidated by it, but the late pushing the Opera back and running at him, and if you take too long and he gets comfortable with Fountain or Coop, then yeah. But if you
Yeah.
literally flash and go, and you get out as he's hitting Fountain, and you come out sidewalk, and then your drop guys are holding that angle, he has to play a fine line on Fountain there, and that's I think how you do it. And I've seen some teams do it real well, like you said, SK, where
Yeah.
they once they know the setup, that speed, they hit
Yeah.
you with that speed, come back B in. Anyways, Multiple
Yeah.
opinions, multiple ways to win rounds.
This is the first time North has had like a little bit of a shaky bye. Finally, this is the last bye they'll have if they lose here. Obviously,
Nice
they'll
stairs,
have
Molly.
the force up for the last
You
round.
wanna know the first time I saw that? Doja.
Doja?
He's the first guy I saw throw that.
Oh, over
that
the wall.
molly over the top.
True. Boyo used that. Ooh, I like that.
You ever seen
I-
that?
Jordan used to do
Nice.
that one all the time.
Yeah.
I was looking back
That was
at
the
the
first time I've
Chick-fil-A
seen
one.
that,
I tried to
actually.
throw that before.
Having said that, I hate this map, so. North's in a pretty good position here because all of Heroic is like, they're relegated to like either heaven. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. I take everything back. You can take over.
Yeah, they just threw some really good defensive smokes. MSL had to try and make a play there.
This is an
Shut
impressive CT side in the last.
Yeah, this has
yeah.
gotten really nice for Heroic this half.
It's all about the rotations and everything for them, right?
Yeah.
Taking control, getting the info, and then rotating. And it looks like North just keeps running into stacks or running into ops. And those
Yeah,
are the two big things that are happening right now.
They're definitely making it easy on themselves by getting plat control, but North is making it hard on themselves by giving up plat control every round they hit A.
Well, North did some pressure. They had AZ do the Olaf smoke plus the molly for stairs.
Yeah.
And that's going to probably pressure a player back. Probably for 10
But you
seconds. He's going to
can't-
be afraid to
you
take
can't
upper
hit
control.
A quick enough.
Probably not, no, because the map's
Yeah,
massive.
map's huge. There's so many weird angles that you have to be careful of in A halls, and even coming up mid.
I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with this kind of buy. You know, like what's the plan here? Just watch.
My favorite parts about this map are the huge amounts of wasted space by T-spawn that no one does anything in.
Yeah.
But at least there's no mid window anymore.
What about Rapunzel?
I liked being in there.
Oh yeah, what if they did that? What if they took out Rapunzel and moved the T-spawns forward to like almost under the Rapunzel ladder?
They'd have to move it closer to A.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Closer to A's. That might be.
Yeah,
weird.
that would be pretty good.
that'd be
Might give the
interesting.
T's a little advantage to get dropped like before you can get a molly
I
off.
feel like
think
it would
if
make
you
the,
do
the
that,
map
you
I
too
would-
think they need
T-sided
to also
though.
change drop. Yeah, the map's already.
The maps.
Maybe put a ladder and drop so CTs can go up it.
Yeah, I think I know I do. I actually do think that. Like I think like one CT should be able to somehow get up, drop, and flank.
Boxes.
Like
and
ladder and
Yeah.
or pop dogs.
So that
for
way you can't
Europeans.
just leave like a lurky all by himself holding plat and drop.
At the end of the day, you cannot remove this from the pool because then people can't get new Dragon Lores.
True.
That is
that's
very
the
true.
that's
The real
thing.
stuff
But
I
they can
watch
always
here.
move it to a different map. They've done that before.
Oh, they have.
No.
Snappy's
put-
been snappy all
they've-
hat. That's
they've
his like
moved-
third 3K. Sorry, go on.
They have moved skins to a different map before.
When did they do that? I didn't know that.
I
That's
can't
cool.
remember, but maybe not moved, but added. I don't remember what it was, but I recall it. You know, I should know. I had 10 accounts to try and get Dragon Balls.
True.
So
They don't call you Dragon Lord James for nothing.
8 to 7.
I wonder if that Skadoodle souvenir Dragon Lore op's gonna get passed down in the family for multiple generations. Whoever bought it.
Where's Josh going?
I don't know.
Probably in
He
Qatar
just,
or something.
he just did this. So I'm
Except
assuming
it was a little bit more graphic.
he actually whipped it out. And first half done.
Look at that
8-7.
half. 6 straight.
Snappy snapping of domes. Unoriginal.
I'm super impressed by Heroic's resilience and comeback. That was not
Yeah.
an easy. Like
That was
8-7ing that
definitely-
half is so
They
low probability.
grinded that 8-7 half back. That was really
I
impressive.
think the way that they won the BO3 yesterday kind of mentally allowed them to have the fortitude to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like they proved to themselves that they can grind out BO3 against NIP, you know?
Sapphire GG and Web-Toed Prius CSGO. Savage.
That's public knowledge now. Huh?
Yeah, Trace threw him under the bus.
What? What is?
Trace is like, I get thrown under the bus. I'm dragging other people down.
The Prius web toes.
What's web?
All right, just stop.
He's got
all right?
duck toes.
Oh.
Like a duck, except this duck doesn't have toes.
So apparently people don't understand the concept of Summit. They're bothered that people are tangenting on the desk here, not talking about every second.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of understand it, but at the same time, that's
And there's just so many tournaments where you're just constantly doing play-by-play.
there's so many tournaments where we just don't get a chance to do this. And I understand, obviously, when we're talking about fish heads or something, it's a little ridiculous. But I think it's fun to talk concepts here because, well, for one, I guess if you really want the hype play-by-play, you're not going to get it. That's just the reality of it. Occasionally, Launders brought it in, James brought it in. But if you really don't want to hear us, you could mute it, which sucks to say. But
True.
we could try a little bit more to be
Pretty
on
cool.
point. But I think, obviously, Josh talking a lot about CS. But in general,
Yeah.
when we're talking theory, and Sean, you bring in cool points about Cobble or T, I don't know. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, especially because you get perspective from all these players that typically you wouldn't get it from.
I guess we could
Right.
try to stay a little closer to combo discussion.
No, Jordan, you can't sit and listen to the internet comments. It's the internet. There are different groups of people. You cannot please everyone.
We can't please everyone.
It's a futile endeavor,
Is that my
friend.
flaw here?
It's a futile endeavor.
True.
Well put.
Josh, got
All right,
that
guys.
chicken?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Spicy.
Let's
I
let
got the
Bardolph
spicy
handle this one right here.
It's spicy.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
James, you're
spicy.
honestly the most
Yeah, but this is
qualified
like
here to
this is like
say- Josh,
Qualified for what? Chicken.
yeah.
we're
What
not
up?
allowed to talk anymore. This internet doesn't like how much we're talking.
I want to
about
hear
Oh,
his
yeah?
smooth
That's
baritone
a
voice.
shame,
Get
dude,
the-
isn't it?
This, this is your favorite aspect of it.
Don't you like that when people actively don't want to learn things? That's
Yeah.
always really cool.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I'd
dry
rather
and
listen
boring.
to play-by-play
That's North American matchmaking.
all the time
Yeah.
and not learn anything.
Damn, that looks fire.
So shall we stop talking about fish heads again, just to really get under people's skin? No,
See,
It
we'll,
was a
Nate-
curious discussion.
Actually, I'm
I
getting
learned,
some
I learned
chicken.
something with the fish
we'll get
heads.
some chicken.
CZ's on both teams.
James,
Let's
give us
go.
your best DDK impression on this fifth round.
No,
Play-by-play.
surely Valde's going to the
No.
drop with the CZ and HE grenade. Can we watch Valde?
I think there's like a lot of viable positions with the CZ in this map on CT side. You could do drop. I think upper B if you're able to make it to the cave, and like if you're not spotted, you can kill people late round B.
Oh.
But also A halls is also really powerful.
With the grenade though, it's got to be.
Yeah, it's drop.
Oh,
But he's
banger.
moving on.
Some good damage.
Or is he staying close? He's staying close. Okay, so his teammate can be initially engaged and he can clean up afterwards. Marvelous stuff. See, MSL died for the cause there. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
He is purely bait on the end of the hook there. 3 versus 2 though, so still recoverable for the T side. Yugi's got the T250. Had some range as well. Unfortunately, he succumbed to the range of Kiabi's USP.
So
Good
each
stuff.
team's won a pistol round, so that's no longer an excuse if you lose the map. So we can wipe that off.
Sure, if you want.
I always love when people talk about that. It's like,
I was
okay.
just gonna concede because I think there's.
Look at that. MSL's job is to stand there and die while Valde
Yeah.
kills everyone.
That was a good play by Valdi, and he got really good crucial nade damage. But the CZ in drop there really worked out in his favor, and I think CZs are going to be used on CT pistols a lot more now, just because armor on Glocks and just jumping around and making your head as hard of a target to hit as possible. You're just going to negate that with a CZ and a flash or a nade. Just run out and just fucking hold mouse one. I thought I was on a different stream for a second. I'm like, oh god, I just dropped the F-bomb.
Force buy from Heroic.
Naturally.
Oh, Nico down to 1 HP.
Drop split.
It's a good strat.
And he's still got his
Yes.
smoke grenade.
I think, see, this is the problem. Like you have to play 2A, right? Because you need 2A to stop whatever pushes are coming. How many people do you play towards drop? And Heroic just saw that opening, dropped down with CZ's armor, and just got in the faces. And it's so difficult for North to hold that because they either have to play 2 towards B, and then like one's watching the drop window, or they play 1 towards A, and then they have the other A guy watching
Knife.
the connector split. And it's just so difficult with like UMP to hold against CZ armor because the CZ does more damage.
He's overplaying
more
his hands.
accurate.
He's going to get spotted. Man, just go up the ladder. It's too late now, surely. Hey, he's not checking.
Yeah, I don't think Yugi. No. Ooh, but he could get a knife here, and this knife would be really good. Keep your crosshair all the way when you get close. Then you put down the knife, and that's demoralization.
He knows where the other one is.
And money for the opera.
And money for the opera. And that's a huge momentum shift right there. I think Yugi's going for the soup.
600 more.
That's so demoralizing for North, just because like not only did you lose that round, but you lost the last 2 players that were almost about to save, and you got knifed. It's like salt in these gigantic wounds. Right
And
here.
to their opera.
And to the, yep. CZ rebuy from the CTs, plus Deagles and some people with armor. So this is a couple of the players. Mertz saves. Obviously, he doesn't get armor because he's going to be saving for an op later in the half, and he doesn't want to cripple his economy this early in the round, or in the game.
AZ's the kind of guy who can turn around inside of the Deagle too.
Yeah, but and I think people get Deagle without getting Kevlar because aim punching was reduced or something, or it's not as severe. But
But they can do 2 rounds of Deagles as well. You don't see many teams do that instead of Deagle and armor in 1 round.
I think some players individually do that. I know, like, for example, Stewie on C9 would do it just because, like, if he gets 2 kills in the first round with it, he basically got his investment back and does it again because it increases your chances of winning the round astronomically. But here comes, obviously, the B hit as soon as that smoke cleared at upper. North doesn't have the economy for more nades than that.
If
or
you're
more
Kiabi
smokes.
now, are you trying
Yeah.
to save your Kevlar?
Yeah, 100%. You have to. You probably wait for like someone to push you, chasing with a UMP. You try to just punish him for that. Grab the UMP, which you can either use the next round and drop your CZ, or you keep the CZ and drop the UMP. But likely you just keep the UMP with armor and give the CZ to someone without armor.
Yeah, they have a reasonable position with tight choke points to try and abuse those if the Heroic were foolish enough to
Yeah.
chase after those pistols. But
Heroic's not giving them any opportunities to get back into this game that easily. So they're just going to hang on to all their weapons and just maximize their economy. This is going to make it so that, you know, when you're coming back into the game, you want to have as many gun round buys as possible. And they realize this, and this is what North did in the first half. North had so many gun rounds in a row just because they were winning rounds with so many people alive. And Heroic wants to be able to match that and just say, you know what, even if we lose a round or two, we're still able to buy, and we're still able to, you know, have a really good chance at winning the round.
Did you ever give your take on the whole thing where Heroic's playing this tournament now with Tag, but he's actually not on the team anymore?
I don't know the specific details about that, so I don't really know what to comment
really
about.
weird, yeah.
I had
But
an interesting conversation with him about that yesterday because I was unaware of it, and he told me about it. And he's
What-
like, "Yeah, I woke up and learned it through HLTV.org." I was like, "That's really
That's
solid,
really so painful.
really
That's-
quality."
In a foreign country.
you know, like I think there's definitely situations where you can amicably part ways, where you're just like, you know what, it's not working out, and you know we want to bring in this other player, and you know it's, you know, we like you as a player and we like you as a person. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and if you're able to be like, okay, yeah, like I'll just, you know, play out the events, and then, you know, when you find a replacement, they're able to play, like we'll just swap out. That's completely fine. And if you're able to end on good terms like that, then I see no reason why it would cause an issue. But like if you're kind of stabbed in the back, so to speak, I think that would maybe create like some sort of animosity.
Yeah,
and like
definitely,
stop using Skype, man. Everyone's Skype is hacked.
mine's probably hacked too right now.
That's why the information gets out. It's so
So
hard
true.
to do two-factor authentication on Skype. It's ridiculous. It's such a pain in the ass. It's a piece of crap.
Microsoft products.
Why is it difficult to do on Skype?
Because it's just painful. You have to like, instead of just being a simple thing with like an authenticator, you have to go. Let's say you signed up for Skype without a Microsoft account. You have to create a Microsoft account or link. It's just like tedious and almost no one understands how to do it. So
I see what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty awful.
no, I think of something else.
So just the fact that, you know, they allow you to sign up with other accounts makes it difficult, I guess.
it's just they just make it harder than it needs to be, man.
Anyways,
Harder than it needs to be.
so for, how do you say his name? Is he Tag, or is that
Not
what's
100%.
the consensus?
Jordan was saying it earlier.
S-Tag, let's go S-Tag.
That's exactly. Just go.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
So I mean, if I'm him right now, and my teammates kind of did that, you know,
Did
it
what?
might what's up?
Oh, the betrayal thing.
Yeah, the betrayal thing. Like, I don't know the specifics, so I don't know if like it's a hardcore betrayal or how they are like internally. But I think like one of the things is that you know, I think it could obviously hurt morale if they're losing rounds and they're not able to keep it together. I think that could hurt morale because it's just like, yeah, I want to high five or props you for that sick round, but you just cut me. So
I think
You
it's
know?
I think it's
That's true,
actually
actually.
kind of a scummy play by the org, because what it does is it basically puts all of the onus on Esatog to be
Yeah.
a good guy and play nice.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, we're gonna fly you out and not tell you you're getting cut until you're there. So you basically like,
Yeah.
you have to be nice about it,
Yeah.
and we force you into this situation.
So yeah,
It's
so
like,
now he
that's
has
a
to,
terrible thing.
So now
It's
he
like
has
what Renegades did to Jay-Z Walkings. That was horrible.
Yeah, so now he has to play for himself, basically. He has to play for his self-image so that he's
Yeah.
able to make it on the next team. Like,
Literally
he needs to play well. He
creating a
needs to be-
resume right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
That was the intention of anyone to do bad by anyone, though. You know,
I mean, well,
I'm sure they just wanted to tell him afterwards to be like, see,
I mean, maybe it just got leaked. Maybe somebody on the team told somebody offhandedly that they thought
Skype,
they
man, it's
trusted.
Skype. That's the
Not
whole
everyone
conversation we've
talks.
said.
Mhm.
Every single team,
Here's
player,
right
whatever, in CS, in the entire world, talks. If there's
Versus
anything I've
deletes
learned,
them.
they just talk.
Maybe Esatog went out right there. He's like, hey, you guys coming? I don't care. I'm going out.
Hey, look at my face. Boom, there it is.
And you can just
Headshot.
blame it on the in-game leader after, right?
Yeah,
I was told to go out there.
of course, that's what you say.
Hey, man, if the in-game leader's blamed for the loss...
I don't think anyone's gonna blame
So
you
what-
for any
what are they planning
losses.
here?
You've played like. a
Oh,
pro.
no,
They
I'm
sent
I'm
him
not
out.
talking about me, but there's definitely, you know, there will be, I think, like, the general talk about
Wow.
stats and player individual performance and in-game leaders with good and wrong calls. It's like nobody really knows what happens internally. No one knows what happens with the comms. We have no idea what happens with the strats. You know, there's broken telephone maybe, like someone, like the in-game leader could communicate, this is the play that we're going to do, and then along the way, players interpret it incorrectly. That's a great flank by Madi. I think Connector's like such a... It's just like, if you're expecting a player there, like it's so hard to get flanks off, but if you're able to find that opportunity to get that flank off, it just creates so much opportunity because you can rotate back to B if you want to do like a late round play back there, or you can backstab, or you can just cut off rotations where, you know, the CTs have to come up mid-ramp and A-halls if you do plant A because you've cut off all of heaven and stuff.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
so
you're
what
really
was-
starting to get the hang of Cobble.
No,
was
I
really-
understand Cobble. I just don't...
What they did just now was really unique, though. So they sent Easy Tag out plat, right? So
Yeah.
Molly, like Olaf circa 2015, right?
Right.
Just fight to your death. They had 2 guys waiting drop. They had 1 guy smoke far side mid, walk through mid.
Yeah.
And when he made contact, a guy was walking through halls. So they're basically just splitting the map everywhere. So they're just
Right.
kind of doing like
It's like a
1-1-1-1-1-1. Yeah. But they realized the bomb was like behind the drop players. 1 guy had to go back.
So North had 1 op, and it was on Mertz at B.
I believe so, yes. And then they had
That's,
2 in
I think that's the only reason why it works. If there's an opper from North that's also at A, but who does anyone from North pick up the op besides Mertz? Like Kirby, I don't think I've ever seen him do that.
think they had double op
MSL,
earlier.
I don't think so. Like maybe Valdi, but Valdi's
a
is he
question.
playing drop for them, or where's he playing?
Oh
for
no, it
them?
was Heroic had double up.
Heroic had double op on their
Yeah.
CT side, yes. Who would be
I'm
the
actually
second
not sure
opper
who's the second off on
for
that team.
if they need it? Because I think having someone that's able to hybrid and pick it up on at least CT sides.
But
is-
it's clever though, because I don't think the op at A would have been able to do much because they smoked far side mid, right? So that negates any op there unless you're in danger. The guy
Right.
probably could just jiggle peek danger.
But if
take
there's a
mid
guy
control.
walking halls and you're
but
holding
you're
that halls
waiting,
angle,
but you wouldn't be holding the halls angle if far side mid smoked and you're giving up danger control, right? You'd be forced
well,
to
if
fall
you
off.
have, so like for example, C9 does a setup where Ska would be holding long A, and then Tim would be either boosted hot tub watching down to danger, or he would be in danger watching kind of like feet at walking through mid. And I think that sort of a setup could have been really
Yeah,
good.
that would
against
definitely be an
Heroic.
OP setup.
Yeah,
That
and
would
then
definitely
you
be
lose
an
that player walking A halls to the opper, no chance. And then you might get that kill on the danger guy, but then the opper just flies around and gets that kill too.
Oh,
But
this could be really painful.
here's the
man.
Molly on
Heroic.
Cube. This is a great Molly on Cube.
Look at
Yes,
Kiabi
yeah.
behind them
Good
as well.
trade.
One for one's
really
great.
good
Really good trade.
spacing.
Yeah.
See, that's why it's good to have the IGL to go out first, right? Because he knows the spacing
Oh,
that
it's been
needs to
spotted.
happen.
Hasn't been spotted yet. The bomb's
That,
still on the
well,
floor.
that's the adjustment we made, right? But I think it's deeper than that for MSL, and I can explain why in a second. I think Heroic's in a really good position because they've been winning so many rounds. Their economy's in a great spot. Even if North has like the 6th 5-round swing, I think Heroic's still able to buy the whole way through. Like they're in a really
They
comfortable position.
really turned this round, this whole match around. Like,
This whose map pick was this? I think was it
I would guess North. You
I
never
think
know.
Heroic
this
started
is-
CT side, so
I
it was
think
North
this
map
is
pick.
North.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
If
think
Heroic
Heroic
starts
picked
CT.
Train, right? Is that what
That would make sense. I know that they played on Train in the past week.
I shall
watched-
check for you.
Well, they
I
beat
watched-
Nip
Did
yesterday.
you scrim against either of these teams?
We didn't scrim against either of them. No. North picked Cobble.
We were scrimming
which
pretty
makes
much SK and Liquid all the time, which is quite ironic.
Yeah. North. North played Train against Heroic in an online game within the past week or two.
North picked Cobblestone.
Yeah.
North traditionally had really good cobblestone.
Well, I think all Danish teams like that, like Astralis as well. I think they're really good with those dynamic setups. It seems like their style is to have a lot of setups and strats and just be able to cycle through and play like a different strat or setup every single round. Like I saw an Astralis Overpass game where they had literally they didn't do the same strat twice and a half.
Well, I think North and Astralis are very different. I think Astralis has a lot of setups and shots, like you said, very similar to North, but
Yeah.
Astralis is okay with playing a little bit loose, and they're way better in late game scenarios at mid-game.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that was North's weak spot, is mid-gaming late round.
Yeah. I think a lot of their play revolves around MSL.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. They have really good trades and teamwork executes, kind of stuff like that. But yeah.
It's a great opening pick. You have that 5-on-4 advantage. You get the info that there's at least one more A. but you've lost B control. So Heroic, when they come back, they're gonna have to flash that angle, maybe even drop an Olaf smoke.
I think that's very telling that.
Yeah, that's a lot of info. Kid got.
Yeah, it was good.
You can see everyone's rotating B
Let's
right
find
now.
the box, and now he
4
peeks
CTs
out,
are B right now.
misses. I don't know why he didn't peek earlier or ask for a flash or smoke. I guess that his team didn't have anything, just because their money's so tight. I wish the FAMAS was more viable so that it would be like, you know, you could get a FAMAS so you can afford full grenade set.
Wow.
Ring around the rosy.
Yeah, that was good movement right there by Snappy.
It was great.
I don't know if I'm biased because I'm of the IGL, you know, type, but I've always thought Snappy was a pretty impressive fragger for an IGL.
I'd love to see the same thing. I really like the way Heroic has always played too. They're very simplistic. They don't overcomplicate things with like ridiculous executes.
Oh, that's a full buy from North, and they had like, I think the
Damn,
most amount of money was like
FAMAS.
$4 grand on one player.
You were just talking about the FAMAS, so we're going to get to see
Yep.
it in action. The Clarion. What does FAMAS stand for? Isn't it like an acronym because it's all in caps?
It's a French gun.
It is a French.
I don't know if it is an acronym.
French Automatic Machine Assault.
Yeah, whenever I land in
Right,
Paris,
okay.
a bunch of guards walking around with FAMASs.
So
Yeah, they all use FAMAS.
Sean,
yeah.
what do you think about North here? So I think they have like 5-round bonus already. They full bot here instead of doing like CZ half armor and like smoke flash every player.
I don't think you can give up a 15-8.
Ooh, it is
No?
an
You
acronym.
can't give them 15-8.
The English translation of
It's a
the-
shitty situation.
There's
but they
too
have
many,
to out here.
but Heroic's on like gun rounds for the rest of the game. Do you not want to try to get ops?
Yeah,
and
that's
maximize,
exactly
or-
why I think you can't afford to just save and give them 15, or like half buy and give them 15.
Okay.
This is a really cool call by them.
So
Rush
Just
mid.
mid rush. They're not going to have much to stop
That's a
it at
good
all.
counter smoke. Really good counter smoke.
It's a little too late. One and done. Kirby has massive opportunity to get multiple.
It's a good molly to stop the flow.
And it might create a one-way for him as well, just for that initial moment. Grimy round, 2-on-2 now. Looks like EC Tag isn't too pissed off about the betrayal.
See, this is what I was talking about earlier. It's like, yeah, I can understand
Ooh.
a rush to change
That was
the
unique.
tempo of the game, but
Yeah.
it's like that's rushing is also a chance to get the CTs back
Yeah.
in the game.
It is, but at the same time, like even if you do massive amounts of economic damage, like here they survive with
Like
2
giving them an off?
as a full butt. Yeah, maybe that's not the smartest.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
the
like-
other side of that coin is
But-
they hardly have any economy. They don't. They
can't
can't really play a
stop it.
late round. They can't really play a late round though either, right? Because
Right.
they only have a couple
Yeah.
smokes, couple Molotovs. So if you just drain the clock down to like 1 minute, you're getting an easy bomb site hit. So
Right.
I could see the other side of that.
It's one of those
As long-
things too where if you lose the round, your teammates are like, why are we rushing? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I feel like rushing there is there's more ways for the rest of the map to go wrong than to play like a smarter round. Not necessarily a more complicated round, but a smarter type round. I don't know.
You say
We
tomato,
we
I
can
say
hash it out
tomato.
later.
Sure. Where's Mertz at this round? Upper B, I think. Ooh. Popping towards A
Outside.
this time, and a rifle taking upper B control. But their CTs are quite
get
low in
legged.
nades.
You got legged by Yugi or something?
I'm not sure what happened. 20 health from a leg. It might have been spam somewhere. Maybe he was like going for the mid pick and got spammed a little. With 98 armor. I don't know.
Yugi. Exercising his patience here.
Because he saved from the round before. There's probably a leg or something.
I wonder if Mertz is going to pay him off. I don't think so. That angle Mertz has is sick.
Game of chicken right now.
It's such a good angle because if a guy wants to
feel like
peek
he would
that, he
get
has to do
traded
that
out.
thing where he goes around that little right angle in the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a really rough spot to get traded out.
What is Kirby doing?
Daddy
He's-
Gabriel Toledo
he
uses
can't
that
get in
angle a
front
lot.
of the guy in case like he gets timing screwed, so he uses chill.
That's where they.
Ooh, MSL. That sucks. This is the problem with playing drop. It's like, do you play in it where, you know, there's no trade potential and you just give it up, or do you play outside of it?
Play.
Might have made a huge play through connector. And North is probably just like considering, do we just cut our losses? Nope, we're going for it.
Madi's play was heavily aided by the fact that Hyuki saw that guy where he was in A halls, which means there's definitely a second guy at A at that point if he's holding that angle. So Madi knows, you know, once the drop guy is out of the picture.
Yep.
Kirby was
Really good play.
okay.
by
They're gonna go for the save right now, and they're just gonna strangle out Heroic and try to get exits. I don't know if the exits are worth it when Heroic's economy is like 10k plus per player. It's more important that if you're saving, you keep your guns, because
Yeah.
these guns are gonna make the difference in the next round when, you know, you're able to drop a gun and, you know, you have that op
Yeah,
instead
they
of
have
having to
reset
rebuy
too,
an op.
right? I mean, they won the round
Yeah,
prior to
yeah,
this.
yeah. So their money is gonna be really low. So
he
they
cannot lose this support.
it was a good sneak play to go back up drop instead of walking back out to halls.
Mhm.
That was dangerous.
Ooh, they're on
Everything
the
was
offense,
dangerous
though.
about that. He
Good.
probably could have run off to T-spawn like 20 seconds
In the
earlier.
face, baby.
It was a good frag by Mertz by Yugi, but there was already the drop play coming in. I don't think MSL can afford to play and drop like that. I think you have to give it up and play either E-box or like at the window at
I
least.
mean,
like
I think he
jiggle
just missed
peeking.
his shot. It was a decent.
Yeah. Like Marty came at a weird angle, but like there's a million things that can happen there. Ooh, this is a good play by Mertz to do this boost, but the counter boost by Heroic, it feels like they know North, and they know that's a possibility with that op, just to get a little grimy.
And especially when it's a desperate round like
Yeah,
this.
you got to pull out all the gimmicks in desperate rounds. I think there's two times to pull out gimmicks. One is when you're desperate for a round, and the other time is like when you have such a massive lead that, you know, you can afford to lose a round trying to scum a round out of the airplane.
Seems the drop forced the players on underpass, the CTs, to try and get some action because their position would have been compromised a few seconds later.
That was a great flash.
That was so good.
There's two ways to do that flash. Which way do you prefer, Sean? There's the way you just left click from the bottom of mid, and the other way where you do a mid click.
Yeah, I always do the left click from bottom mid. Just call it for your guy running up. Because, yeah, jumping up over that lip right there, you're really vulnerable. So
Right.
you want to throw a flash. That way
Yeah,
you can literally
there's-
get that kill exactly how he got it.
There's a mid click that you can do while on the run that goes like perfectly over though. I don't know if James is happy that I'm sharing this with the world.
James is taking deep breaths over there.
He's actually kind of pissed off that I'm
Breathing
sharing this with the world
intensifies.
because like he's found a lot of good smokes and flashes and mollies and everything.
It's not what you told me in private.
Yeah, what I tell you in private.
I'm just kidding.
Check HLTV, you're cut.
I'm cut.
Yeah.
I'm
That's the
already cut.
best way to. That's the best way to cut somebody on a team. Is like, hey man, can you help me schedule the match? And they go to the team page and they're off the roster. Oh,
Oops.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
That was like how they used to do it in the old days.
Kidding.
No.
When you didn't want to tell them. Oh wait.
Or the best way was when Mo cut Shazam live in front of him. Do you remember that?
Was that Frost Gaming?
Yeah.
Or Swole
I
Patrol?
thought it
They
was
were
a
all
joke
they were all
because I
like
didn't know
flexing
anyone.
and stuff, and it's like Mo Freakazoid Clown, and then it's like
Yeah.
this.
We were like
Pencil.
all chilling in the hotel room. I know none of these guys' personalities because I'm
Yeah.
1.6, and
True.
apparently Mo just literally deleted him off the roster right in front of everyone.
Yeah, well, that's what happens in CS, isn't it?
Yeah, very cutthroat.
Boom.
Everyone's got shaded at least once.
Yep, love it.
What can you do?
Be resilient.
Deleted live. Well, I guess we're going to go to a break, and you can eat that chicken. And
Sure.
then we can go to the second map, which I forgot what it is already.
Train.
Train. See you after the break.